like to start off today with a question, and I want to show of hands. How many of you believe that your success has more to do with your abilities than your beliefs? Your success is driven by your abilities? Show of hands. Okay. And how many of you say beliefs? Show of hands. Fantastic. I'm going to demonstrate to you today, through a story and through 3 points, how we feel, myself and at the Pacific Institute, that beliefs do have much more to do with your success than your abilities. I'm going to tell you a story about Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister was a middle distance runner in the 1950s, early 1950s. And this gentleman was at Oxford, young kid, studying medicine. And he decided to go out for the track team. And he made Oxford's third team, just barely made it on there. In the 1940s, late 1940s, it was unanimously and unequivocally fact, given by doctors, given by all the physiologists, that a sub 4-minute mile was physically impossible. Your heart would burst. It's just the human body cannot run that fast. And since time has been recorded in the running industry, the person who set the fastest time was 4 minutes and 3 seconds. And that lasted for 9 years. Roger Bannister decided that he was the one that was going to break that record. In 1953, he ran a 4-minute, .00.34 minute mile. So he got that close, but didn't make it. At which point he said, okay, somebody's got to break it. I've been taking medical courses at Oxford, and I know that if I've gotten this close, it's not a physical barrier, as I've been told, and as the world has been told. No one had ever broken that 4-minute mile. It's impossible. And he says, if I got that close, I'm going to make that 3-minute and 59-second mile. So for the next year, he focused and cemented that idea into his mind. And he visualized himself running across the finish line and looking up at the scoreboard and seeing 3 minutes and 59 seconds. And every day, he went out and he ran and he ran and he focused and he visualized that. May 5th, 1954, Roger Bannister broke that record in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. 9 years, that record held up. At that point, when he broke the record, he not only broke the record, but he broke through the psychological barrier that had been told to everyone about that 4-minute mile and gave them permission to believe as well. His record stood for 46 days. 46 days. After 9 years of nobody being able to break his record, 46 days. Since then, over 4,500 individuals have broken that record. Was it a physical barrier? Was it an emotional barrier? Or was it a mental barrier? And I want you to ask yourself, is there something happening in your life right now that feels impossible for you? That just seems like you're never going to achieve it. You know you want to achieve it, and you know you have the potential to achieve it, but it's just a barrier in your mind. Because that's what Roger Bannister had. But I'm going to give you 3 points to take with you that are going to help you in achieving and breaking through your own personal barriers, just like Roger did. Because he was no Superman, right? He had some God-given abilities. But he needed to get his mind right before he broke through that barrier. And so do we. Okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is self-talk. The year before Roger broke his record, he could have been full of fear. He could have been full of doubt, right? Just self-doubting himself. I'm never going to get there. It is impossible. I do buy into what they're telling me. But he used that fear and that self-doubt as fuel for success. He wanted to. He chose to. He decided that he would be the guy who would break that record. Why not me? Right? So controlling our self-talk and what we tell ourselves, because at times we are our biggest enemy. Isn't that right? Exactly. So control our self-talk. Let's move to a very deliberate and very intentional way about what we say to ourselves and the story we tell ourselves. The second thing is your habits. What do you do every day? When you fail to reach a big goal, you don't fail because of the size of the goal. You fail because of the system of habits that you've been put into place. And that is critical. Every day, Roger Bannister would go out, pay 3 pence, and go to the park next to the medical building and go run and focus in on his dream and build that up. Every day, what you do counts because it adds up. It adds up and it provides that support system to then reach your goal. And the third thing is your attitude. We live in Miami. I know there's a lot of bad traffic. The Palmetto never gets fixed. We always have a bad attitude, right? We start getting pissed. We have a choice. We have a choice. Are we going to, and by the way, attitudes are neither good or bad. As you'll learn, all it is at just like on a plane, the fixed point in the horizon. Are you leaning into your challenge or are you leaning away from it? So when you have a challenge, are you going to lean into it and you're going to say, I have this, I got this, I can beat this, I'm better than this? Am I going to go after it? Or are you going to cowardly back off and find creative avoidant ways to get around it? I'll delay it. Maybe next year. Yeah, maybe, it sounds good. Yeah, one day I'll get to it. No, guys. You got to get after it with attitude. Go bold. Go bold just like he did. Because nobody believed that he can do it, but he did. And that was the first step in that. So as you think about that challenge that you're having in your life and how you're going to surmount that, take stock and take inventory and start listening to your self-talk. Start examining your habits and start noticing your attitude. And catch it before it goes the wrong way and self-correct. Reframe that. Those 3 keys are going to be the ones that are going to move you towards your goal and excel through that. So dig deep, release those fears, release those stories of self-doubt that you have about yourself, and get after who you know you are and who you know you could be. And just like Bannister did, be your best self and get your own gold medal in life. Thank you very much.